This talk for today is reserved for the silver partners of this year's conference, Telekom Serbia, who have significantly contributed to achieving everything we envisioned. Today, we have Sinisa Arsic, Director of the Department for Data, Analytics and Intelligent Automation of Business Processes at Telekom Serbia. Sinisa will be presenting accelerating AI innovation through hyperscaler platforms, data engineering and data science perspective. In this session, he will explore how hyperscaler platforms enable faster development and scaling of AI models by leveraging high-performance infrastructure and resource flexibility. Sinisa will share best practices for using cloud technologies to process large datasets, improve operational efficiency, and reduce costs with insights drawn from Telekom Serbia's practical experience in analyzing mobile customer behavior. Please welcome Sinisa Arsic to the stage.
Hello and good afternoon to the public. I hope that you had a nice lunch. And today I will be presenting this topic to you, and afterwards we can have a discussion if some questions arise. So I'm coming from Telekom Serbia, the largest telco operator in West Balkans. So for the last 6 years, we have been consolidating the market, and we have become number one in providing all major telco services, substituting Telekom Croatia, T-Com Croatia in the first place. So now we have a more complex environment, and in the years to come, we'll be in the need to be much more smarter and pragmatic to exploit what can technologies give us and provide us. So today's presentation will cover several topics, and I will guide you through what is currently our innovation project number one that we are going through right now in Telecom. That is, we are migrating data and analytics from the IBM, from the Cloudera and IBM solution into the AWS, into Amazon Web Services. So we are trying to sunset Cloudera, and at the same time we are trying to put some new competences within our team and to be able to offer those kind of cloud technology competencies for the future. So regarding the presentation, we will see what was going on for the last 3 years in Telecom in a way of a short prologue. Then I will introduce you with our core team for implementing AI projects, which is something that was being set up this year in Telecom. So we have methodologically upgraded on how are we doing things in Telekom Serbia. Then we are going to see a practical use case, which is very big data and very complex, of how are we using AWS Hyperscaler technology to implement AI model that is based on a very large data source. Then we will see perspectives regarding data engineering and data scientist role, and in the end, what were the key remarks so far that we have learned. So regarding the prologue, I must say that we have been in the data science machine learning world for quite some time, but it was being organized in some way as siloed efforts. We didn't have specific organizational unit for implementation of these kind of projects. But from 2021, for the first time, we have those unique workplaces and those kind of structure in our organization that is totally focused on building complex products based on machine learning. So for the first time, we have started implementing those solutions. And so far, we have implemented 20 analytical models based on different levels of using technology. Not all of them were machine learning. Some of them were AI based. So some of them were advanced analytics. But it was very good that we managed to embed those solutions in everyday business process. So in order to become more efficient, we have set up methodology for implementation of AI models, which clearly defines which kind of competencies are needed, how is the core team organized, which profiles do you need to be able to implement some project, and how do you behave in some on-premise environment or in some cloud environment, and what do you need to look out for, because Telekom has over 50 departments, and those are very diverse profiles, over 10,000 employees. So you need to take into account that we are pretty often speaking with different languages, of course, in the business sense of that word. So this kind of methodology was the first approach of bringing different teams together and bridging those siloed efforts into one unique effort. And during this year, after completion of these 20 models, we have defined a complex AI roadmap, which will go around until 2027. And that roadmap consists of use cases for machine learning, for generative AI. So for the first time, we will be developing Gen AI use cases on our own, which is something that I'm proud of. And we have defined that we need to modernize regarding the stack. So one of those efforts is the overall approach to migrating our analytical stack to the cloud. So with our partners from Deloitte, we have started the project 2 months ago to migrate Hadoop Data Lake to AWS Cloud. Next year, we will be migrating SAS as our main BI platform. And of course, we also have campaign management and machine learning there. So all of those tools will be also going into the cloud. And according to that, we must adjust and we must build competences within our team and to enable that all of those technologies are used in the proper way. So regarding the team, we have recognized these roles, and these roles are essential for doing business in the cloud. Why? Because we have business or product owner as the key person, someone who must understand what's going on and who has that vision what's going on, where do we want to be, what will the product look like, and a very important component, how does it cost us? What is the level of cost that we'll come up with? Of course, apart from the cost of human resources and the usage of the platform itself, you have for the first time the cost of the workloads themselves and all of the provisioned AWS resources for the implementation. So business owner is someone who we must educate, and within this core team for development of AI models, we have several up to 10 directors who have been recognized as the key responsible persons who will be business owners. Then we have SMEs who are domain experts. They must know their business process because based on the data that we have, and in most cases we have a lot of data coming from different systems, we will be able to automate some part of the process or fully automate if it's possible, and to deploy something into production that can be easily triggered or manipulated with in the future. So domain expert is there to explain and help us to understand how is the process being carried out so far, and how can we help when we apply this kind of heavy infrastructure and technology. Project manager who has very distinct roles when managing projects in the cloud. Even though telecom always has some specific things between departments to be managed, cloud has that unique specific point, because that time that was always some kind of IT related activities that was causing delays, that was causing some kind of pending status, not being able to respond quickly. Now it has been seen on a very different way in the cloud. So project manager has to be someone that understands the velocity in the cloud, and to respond also to keeping things under scope and keeping all other people who are non-technical to adjust to that kind of dynamics. Also, because going into the cloud and doing things there is a change, and the prerequisite for change is that you unfreeze some kind of existing situation. We have recognized that we need an agent who will take care of these things, and who will discuss between departments what's going on and what will take place, so that we are able to be prepared fully for the change that will come into place. Of course, process managers, because we have a lot of user experience going on internally, externally, they must be included. And in the end, my team, who consists of people who are doing analysis, who are doing data science, machine learning ops, and data engineering, all of that must be included. This picture is displaying how they're like sitting together, doing things together. But it's important that in practice we have that recognized and fully in place. So regarding the migration itself, I'm displaying this just to set us up a foundation in order to see that new perspective in the cloud when we go to execute things there. We were pretty much limited with using on-premise solutions. We had problems with upgrades, with maintenance. Those things were very slow to integrate with other IT systems. Of course, cost was very significant. We had resources blocked on doing things to maintain that. And we had plans of going outside to learn and to investigate new markets, but with being stuck on on-premise solution, it is pretty much impossible. So all of this changes, and apart from that, only technical side that you can pretty much automate anything you want. You are for the first time able to dislocate. You are able to diversify, and you're able to employ your resources to the full maximum. So that was our main decision why we decided to go to the cloud. So for the next period of several years, Telekom will migrate its most important applications and tools in the cloud, because we want to avoid that burden of existing problems in on-premise solutions. And of course, there will be some new problems when we go into the cloud, but these ones that are causing us so much trouble will be overcome. So with these problems in mind, it was pretty much impossible to go into the full development of this use case. This use case is based on network signalization data, which means very big data source I mean hundreds of terabytes of data monthly, and it's being collected based on what is our customer base doing on their mobile phones. So every time you access a web portal or smartphone application on your phone, we detect that, and we have trackers that enable us to see which kind of portal or application you visited, how much time did you spend there, and to be able to know what was the approximate location where your session took place. So very important, very significant data source. It's based on Anritsu Japanese technology. So we had problems from day one from enabling that hardware in our network division up to the days where we were thinking of going into the data ingest and data analysis. So when you have 300 terabytes of data coming each month, and it's very fluctual, it's a very flexible nature, so you cannot predict the size of the data set. We had to think of the way to approach that problem and to resolve that issue of not being able to do a whole bunch of things in our existing environment. So our intended output was to create a specific set of personas, set of profiles of our customers. If we have 2 million postpaid customers in our base, we wanted to come out with, let's say, 10 or 20 profiles, which will say which are the recognized, detected needs of behavior of those customers, which are the patterns that we recognized, and they would be based on this kind of deep packet inspection. So that kind of output would be used to create campaigns for customer value, also to help post-production support in customer care, to aid our sales agents to become more efficient in their work. So we had the clear support from our managers to analyze that data and to approach it, but we had the problem of coming to the point where we can ingest and analyze it on some technological way. So based from the source, we are now planning to ingest that Anritsu data source into the AWS cloud, where we'll be training the model in SageMaker. We'll be assessing which kind of resources do we need on EC2 and on Lambda in order to process that kind of data and to allocate adequate resources. And when we come to the point of training the model, we'll be able to build it in SageMaker and build some kind of data application that will exploit the results of that model. So we will now go through the two perspectives of data engineers and data scientists. So for the data engineer role, as we can see here, when looking this picture, we had the traditional on-premise based activities where, of course, data engineer had a lot of things to think about, but it was mainly about integrating new data sources, establishing ETLs, doing data validation and cleansing, establishing data ingestion, and coming to the point of enabling business to have right foundation for any kind of analysis, whether that data is coming through the layer of data warehouse in the first instance, then it must be modeled by our team, or it is directly pushed into the data lake to be available for our business. In the cloud, we have additional things to worry about. So we have storage and end user services. So for the first time, we are building pipelines right to the very end. We are not enabling some reports or some tables that are the output. We are thinking in the way of embedding AI, machine learning into some application. So in the case of this persona, we will have a clear profile and description of that profile. I mean, it will possibly be made out of LLM that will be put in some form, in some level of application. That application could be sales application, it could be customer care, but it could also be self-care application of our customers. Regarding the storage, we have cloud-specific activities regarding data governance. So for the first time, that data, which is very sensitive, will go outside of Serbia. We need to think about consent management, whether our customers are consent that we use that data to profile them. We need to think about orchestrating, because we have that very large data source that needs to go through those different layers in AWS. We don't need that much of data on a daily basis, but from time to time when things need to be retrained, and we suppose that for a mobile persona we will have constant, frequent retraining, we will have deep collaboration with data scientists and data engineers to orchestrate these things. I suppose that we will have multiple versions of the persona, let's say for residential people, for SMEs, SOHO, for entrepreneurs, for students. Those are all different kind of accounts and different kind of behaviors. So they will all rely on the same data source. So if you can imagine, we will have at some point multiple machine learning models, AI models, AI solutions based on the same data source. Of course, we are also thinking about multi-cloud. We will have certainly new data sources coming from other cloud solutions, such as GCP. So we will be going into the cloud, and our data engineers will have to think about joining efforts from two cloud environments. Of course, when it comes to end user, pretty much our department enables things for internal purpose in telecom for those 50 departments that I mentioned. So we must be able to build different kind of applications and smart outputs for our business to use on everyday basis. And regarding the data scientist, these 6 stages of development, which were like from business understanding until deployment, data scientist has pretty much the same roles in the cloud, but he has additional dimensions to think about for each of these activities. So when it comes to the level of business understanding and setting up some KPIs, for the first time, a data scientist comes up with the cost level of going through these workloads, and he must communicate with the business owner for him to understand that this kind of solution that is being required, mobile persona model, will take some cost into account when going through all of those workloads in the cloud. So, of course, all of these activities took us through some journey within the cloud. I must say that we don't have a unique platform or solution that can be provisioned in AWS that will cover all of this. But we have distinct things and technologies in AWS that help us automate some things that were sorry, that were unimaginable before. For instance, deployment of models and retraining of models in AWS, we can perform it automatically. So in previous worlds and in previous life, we had to do retraining of models on our own. Of course, there is the matter of sizing, of dynamic allocation of resources. In some um, um, earlier times, when it comes to modeling, we couldn't have more than 2 people working at the same time, because when we wanted to upgrade things, the whole platform had to be upgraded. Now, when it comes to cloud, with this first model that we are doing there, we'll be able to dynamically upscale and to say, okay, we can put right sizing for the right amount of time. And also, when it comes to data preparation, we will be able to set triggers, which will say, okay, when you go above some threshold, you can allocate dynamically more resources to that person or to that process. So that is something that changes the picture, and it enables us to promise more to our business and to reach those goals more quicker. And I must say that this kind of model, this kind of implementation, which is the biggest one so far, it could not be feasible, and it could not be done in on-premise solution. So this kind of effort and this kind of project helps us understand that apart from having new technology, we can deal with enabling our resources to upgrade themselves and to help us reach those business goals quicker. And in the last slide, I must say about the key remarks so far. Of course, 6 months from now or 1 year from now, I will have new findings, something to share new. But regarding the data engineer, data scientist perspectives, we can say that we have these kind of specific challenges that need to be taken into account when it comes to data scientist monitoring and observability in the cloud. I must say that all kind of performance tracking of models that was being suggestion to be followed through QuickSight or through some AWS resource, it does not solve our needs. So we had to build different things to overcome that. And when it comes to other topics, it is showing business impact. Since this is cloud, this is expensive, it is hard sometimes to say data preparation costs us this, data modeling, deploying. So we need to take into account everything and to look all of this as a package. I must say that a very important thing is building that skill set, so that guys that are doing business in the cloud, they might not know all of the resources needed, but they should enable themselves to think flexibly and to upgrade their knowledge during the way. There is no best solution. There are just continuous efforts to build something optimally. And for the data engineering, I must say data governance when it comes to security of data and processing sensitive data, personal data. Access to data, because for the first time our data center, who is used to having integrations between applications on premise, for the first time is switching and transferring data away to the cloud. Of course, gaps in tooling, because when you're working with large providers such as IBM or SAS or Microsoft, they tend to sell you the whole stack. And when you're in the AWS, you must be clever of not taking everything and to provision only the things that you need for doing business. And it changes constantly. It's not something that you can know upfront for, let's say, the whole of 2025. It's impossible. And also the last thing, but also important, that inconsistency between training and experimentation, or let's say QA and dev environments, because a lot of things are still going on in the on-premise environment, and cloud is something else. So that kind of simulation before production is pretty much hardened when you're doing things in this multi-environment ecosystem. So that would be everything from my side. I would be happy to hear if there are some questions, and of course you can reach me out after the presentation. Thank you.
So since we don't have much time, I would ask anyone that has any questions to ask Sinisa afterwards. Thank you.